Mr. Speaker, the spokesperson for government on his feet indicated that the government has drawn funds from the contingency account, an amount of 350 million Ghana cedis. He also indicated that in the past administration, certain funds were diverted. These were his contentions. Mr. Speaker, I submit, by way of my own comment to this matter, that the statement by the government communication minister, as well as the statement from the Ministry of Finance, that indeed, pursuant to the approval by the Finance Committee of the House on the 30th of June for the withdrawal of an amount of $350 million in cedis, in accordance with Article 177, Mr. Speaker, is false. Mr. Speaker, it is false because the contingency fund has suffered a garnishee order from the court. Mr. Speaker, for government spokesperson to come before Parliament to tell all of us that the withdrawal was made from the contingency fund, Mr. Speaker, is most misleading. Mr. Speaker, I am aware, indeed, I am aware, and indeed, I have the letter of the Attorney General. I have copies of the letter dated the 1st of July.
Minority Leader, just a minute. Yes, Majority Chief.
Mr. Speaker, this is unfair by him, not you, Mr. Speaker, by him.
Yes, Majority Chief.
Mr. Speaker, the Minority Leader is aware that as a House of Record, anything that he says must be backed by facts, hard facts. Oh, please, 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 please. So much so that to say that the Finance Minister's public statement that the 350 million was not indeed drawn from the contingency fund and that the contingency fund had been injected has been garnished. In that case, it's been injuncted. It cannot be assessed. Has to be backed by the evidence of the court case, the court order. It cannot be something that he will say whimsically and walk away, because it carries very heavy weight. So, Mr. Speaker, we want him to tender the court order as well as the case, respect the judgment of the court.
Yes, Minority Leader, you may go on. Please go on.
Mr. Speaker, with respect, it is my contention that the statement by the government communication minister to this House is false. The statement by the Ministry of Finance that funds were withdrawn from the contingency fund is also false, Mr. Speaker, and I submit that the contingency fund of the state has been subjected to a court order, a garnishee order. I have a letter of the Attorney General dated 1st July 2026, reference OAG MO9/SCR/50/7/26. Mr. Speaker, this letter is addressed to the Governor of the Central Bank, and the title, it says, "Dear Governor, release of funds from the contingency fund for the National Emergency Flood Response Program." Reads, reference is made to the conversation I had with you this afternoon regarding the above subject matter. You will recall that Parliament on Monday, 29th June 2026, Parliament acting through its committee responsible for finance, pursuant to Article 1771 of the Constitution authorized withdrawal of 350 million Ghana cedis from the contingency fund to finance National Emergency Flood Response Program. I have also taken note of the subsequent directive issued by the Ministry of Finance to the Comptroller and Accountant General, as well as the Comptroller and Accountant General's bank transfer advice to the Bank of Ghana for the release of the approved funds in furtherance of the National Emergency Flood Response Program. I am aware that the contingency fund is presently the subject of Ganeshi proceeding. Notwithstanding those proceedings, it is my considered opinion that the exceptional circumstance surrounding the national emergency and overriding public interest in safeguarding lives and property warrant immediate release of the approved funds to facilitate government emergency response. Accordingly, I advise that Bank of Ghana gives effect to the approval and directive already issued and proceed with the release of the 350 million from the contingency fund without delay in order to deal with the national emergency. Please accept, Governor, the assurances of my highest consideration. Mr. Speaker, Article 77, which was the constitutional provision upon which government came to the Finance Committee. Mr. Speaker, when they went for the withdrawal, the Attorney General himself advised the governor that account has been injuncted. They could not withdraw from the account.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, they therefore use another government account without Parliament approval.
Minority Leader,
Mr. Speaker,
hold on.
to take funds.
Yes, hold on. Go on. Please. Yes, Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I think the point of order was based on he saying that the Minister for Communication had said something else. What I recall the Minister for Communication, Government Communication saying was that the Finance Minister came to this House for authorization to withdraw 350 million Ghana cedis. And that has been made available to solve the problem. I have listened intently to the communication you have read, and clearly you are admitting that in spite of the Ganeshi order, that the Finance Minister insisted on the money being released.
That was advised.
Is that okay? So you are now proceeding to argue the legality of the action of the Finance Minister, not whether or not 350 million Ghana cedis was made available for dealing with the flood victim issue. So I think that there is no misrepresentation here.
Majority Leader, we haven't reached there yet. He hasn't actually got to that stage. So let's listen to him, and maybe you can come back. Yes, please.
Mr. Speaker, even before, Mr. Speaker, before I proceed with my argument, Mr. Speaker, the front bench of the majority is acting very undemocratic. Mr. Speaker, as Democrats, they must have the tolerance. All the government communication minister said all he wanted to say. We kept quiet and listen. You are 189, but you can't catch small bullets. Then you come under the guise of point of order. What point of order? You cannot take small bullets from the minority. You should sit and listen. Mr. Speaker, my argument therefore is that for the government communications minister to come to the House of Parliament to tell Ghanaians that they have withdrawn from the contingency fund, Mr. Speaker, it's false. It is false because, Mr. Speaker, I will expose them the more because we have all the facts. We have a whole dossier here. So take it easy, Mr. Speaker. What I am saying is that the funds.
Please, let's get something clear.
Mr. Speaker, he said all he wanted to say.
Exactly. I will come to you. What he actually said was referring to the process that took place in Parliament. Requests being made for that money to be withdrawn from the contingency fund, and Parliament granted. But he did not go to the extent of saying that that money has been withdrawn from the contingency fund. So he did not say that. The minister did not say that. What you are saying is what you have discovered. You are entitled to say it. I'm not stopping you, but you can go on with that. But what I heard the minister say is what I'm relaying and drawing your attention to guide you. So you go on.
Mr. Speaker, the Finance Ministry issued a public statement and told the whole nation that pursuant to the approval by the Finance Committee of Parliament, withdrawals have been made from the contingent fund. That one is a public statement written and issued by the Finance Minister. Mr. Speaker, that I again contend it's false. It's false because, Mr. Speaker, at the material moment, at the material time that the Finance Ministry issued that statement, it knew that the government's contingency fund account had been garnished. And indeed, the Attorney General had attempted to invoke certain theories to compel the Bank of Ghana to release the funds. The Bank of Ghana did not release the funds because of the garnishee order. Mr. Speaker, indeed, they went ahead to withdraw funds from other accounts of the state. Mr. Speaker, Article 178 is very clear. It's clear. No monies shall be withdrawn from the consolidated fund except A, to meet expenditure that is charged on the fund by this constitution or by an act of parliament, or where the issue of those monies has been authorized by an appropriation act or by supplementary estimate approved by resolution of parliament passed for the purpose. I, by an act of parliament enacted under Article 179 of the Constitution or by rules or regulation made under an act of parliament in respect of trust monies paid into the consolidated fund. Mr. Speaker, upon what authority did government go into other accounts to withdraw money? Mr. Speaker, they have breached the Constitution using a national emergency to do that which was not authorized by Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the Attorney General is in this chamber.
You have your bite. Don't worry.
Mr. Speaker,
yes,
but I'm not.
Point of order is
Mr.
really
Speaker,
raised.
Mr. Speaker, before I'm not challenging your decision to allow a point of order. But Mr. Speaker, let me bring in this preliminary observation. What they are doing is an act of bad faith. No serious Democrats act the way they are acting. Their government communication minister, 27 minutes, said all manner of things. We kept quiet, we listened. It gets to my point. You have the opportunity to speak. Your leader is there. What is all these points of order? Points of order, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minority Leader, please, I'm in charge of this matter.
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
So you hold your peace.
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
And let's listen to him. Yes.
You are not tolerant, you people. You are intolerant.
Please. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in pursuance of order 122. We will see. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, it says that a debate may be interrupted by a point of information, elucidation, or clarification. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, these rules apply mutatis mutandis to comments on statements. Mr. Speaker, the minority leader insists that the statement put out by the finance minister was false. He's actually insisting that it was false. Yet, Mr. Speaker, he has failed to produce a scintilla of evidence. Mr. Speaker, one, he claims, please. I thought you said you are the Democrats. Okay. Mr. Speaker, one, he claims that the monies advanced were paid from a certain account. He has failed to produce evidence of that account other than the contingency fund account. Speaker, number two, he insists that when the Attorney General referenced the matter as a subject of garnishing proceeding, oh please, I am laying the foundation. I'm laying the foundation for moving the house that he is out of order. Speaker, number two, is placing his own interpretation on the phrase that when an account, I am your co-equal. I am your co-equal. I am your co-equal. I am in leadership. I am your co-equal. You are my classmate. You are my classmate. I am your co-equal. Be a Democrat. Be a Democrat for once. And listen to the talk. You are out of order. You are speaking hot air. There's no evidence based on what you are saying. A subject of proceedings does not amount to a substantive court order. Yet and today.
Please. Honorable leaders, please, I'll give you enough time, but don't lead us into disorder. Please, you are leaders. Don't lead us into disorder. You may continue.
May Mr. Speaker live long. Mr. Speaker may live very long. Mr. Speaker, I submit that government has breached Article 178 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, they came under Article 177. When they came under 177, and this House, through its Finance Committee, granted their prayer, and they at that moment knew that there was a court order, the right thing for them to have done was to have come to this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, for government to use another source, go into other accounts of the state to withdraw money, Mr. Speaker, it is most unconstitutional, and they should know this. Mr. Speaker, it does not allow for transparency.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
The challenge we have is that this is a statement. And in statements, you don't say things that will lead to debate. You are making allegations where, in the first instance, you read a communication, a letter, who supported some of the allegations you made. But where you are getting into now, I'm not sure you have evidence here as facts to support some of the observations you are making in your statement. So it will be leading us into a debate, which is what I want to caution you against. So please continue.
Mr. Speaker, we have been told that some funds have been released to NADMO. Only yesterday, Mr. Speaker, we saw NADMO at Nima and Accra Newtown sharing baked beans and Indomie. Baked beans. Baked beans. Mr. Speaker, at Nima sharing baked beans and Indomie. When, Mr. Speaker, people have lost properties, Mr. Speaker, they need rice, they need maize, they need oil, cooking oil. Mr. Speaker, they need government to intervene to restore their businesses. Mr. Speaker, then, Mr. Speaker, we don't even know how they procure these baked beans. Mr. Speaker, people need blankets. People need mattresses. Mr. Speaker, they have refused.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there's a majority that want to contribute. When it gets
just a minute. Just a
Mr.
minute.
Speaker, why are they doing this?
Just a minute. Just a minute. Or just, I want you to limit your contribution to the statement
Yeah, but
I
Mr.
made.
Speaker, Felix,
Please. The statement I made. Now, if you want time for us to go into the whole issue of the disaster and how it's being handled, you could come back, even by motion, and then the House will have the opportunity to debate all this. But my statement is just on the call for all Ghanaians to stand up and see how we could respond to this calamity. And so I just use that to draw the attention of the House to the fact that we will not sit on Friday, so that you get the opportunity to lead your constituencies to respond to this call from the President. That is where we are. This situation you are raising now will need a complete debate by the House. So please, may you move away from that. But let me listen to a majority leader. What were you trying to say? I'll come back to you.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. The minority leader says that the people of Nima and Newtown are not deserving of baked beans and Indomie, and that they should be given rice. No, Mr. Speaker, he said it. He said it.
No.
That they should be given maize and given rice, and that they are not deserving of baked beans and Indomie. So the people of Nima should not be given Indomie to eat, because they don't deserve Indomie, they don't deserve baked beans. He just said it. And that's why I think he must withdraw. He must withdraw.
Majority Leader, you are drawing a conclusion or implying that's what he meant. But to say that he said, he didn't say that. He didn't say that the people of Nima or they do not deserve baked beans. But by implication, you are drawing that conclusion from his submissions. But I think that is not what he said. Please, may you conclude. Because of the interventions, it's
Mr.
now
Speaker.
25 minutes. So I'm still giving you more listen.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes.
since this flood occurred, we have not seen the president visiting families. We saw him in the air. We saw him in the helicopter. Mr. Speaker, those who lost their lives, we have not seen any government official reaching out to them, their families. Those who lost properties, we have not seen any action from government. What we know is that the president was comfortably in the helicopter in the name of surveying, finding out. But Mr. Speaker, the people who suffered are in their homes. The people who suffered, Mr. Speaker, they are down there. They are not in the air. Mr. Speaker, this call for us to observe a holiday, Mr. Speaker, I am unable to properly ascertain the motive of government. Mr. Speaker, Because there's a disaster. People have suffered. Is government taking data of those who suffered? My own Winneba, Efutu, 6 communities were submerged. Jane Janazi, Atachado, Jahazi, Mr. Speaker, interacting with the chiefs and the people, Mr. Speaker, they are in pain. I've spent days with my people. Mr. Speaker, the roads have been cut off. They can't go to their farms, Mr. Speaker. That is the reality. We are talking about Accra. Winneba, 6 communities. Janjansi people cannot cross with Winneba. Jahazi, they cannot. Atachado, they cannot. In Swetchi, they cannot. Osbonpeyin, they cannot. Atetu, they cannot. Silver Chrome, they cannot. That is the situation. Mr. Speaker, I think, hold the view that, Mr. Speaker, beyond the optics, government must demonstrate serious action. What is the sanitation policy of government? What is the sanitation policy of government? Mr. Speaker, it is not enough to engage in any blame game. They are in charge. They are responsible. They are in government. 1.5 years. Agrobeswa Efianopa. Mr. Speaker, it is their duty to tell the country a clear policy in dealing with this matter. You cannot say that it is leadership problem when you are in opposition, then when you come into office you say it's engineering problem. Mr. Speaker, there must be consistency. There must be some principles. There must be one line argument. They must stand for something. And I don't think they stand for anything. Yes. Mr. Speaker, they don't stand for anything. People have died. And the next day, I'm not against declaring a Thanksgiving Day. But how can people be mourning? And then the next day you are in white, with white handkerchief. What do you know that we don't know? What do you know that we don't know? People die, they are suffering, they've lost their properties. The next day you are wearing white, with white handkerchief. Okay, Thanksgiving. What are you thanking God for? We don't know what you know. Tell us. Mr. Speaker, I support your call as a father of this house that we should observe that day, engage our constituents in this cleanup exercise, keep our environment clean. I support it. But the government must do its side. The local government ministry. Mr. Speaker, if you come into office and you identify irregularities in any contractual obligation, yours is to review. In the process, you don't bring governance to a standstill. For over a year, we've not seen any proper cleaning. Our drains are choked. It's because of government decision. Mr. Speaker, it's because of government decision. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I would want to call on the majority leader, even as he's about to make his own statement, he should do all he can to comply with the rules of this house, because he who comes to equity must do equity. And Mr. Speaker, the statement by the government communication minister, whose statement sought to attack the previous regime, Mr. Speaker, he talked about the Garrick. Mr. Speaker, I need to respond to him. Mr. Speaker, the Garrick project, the World Bank has come out to state publicly that it is as a result of this government's inability to take concrete steps to give effect to that project. The World Bank
Honorable Minority Leader, your time is up now.
Very well, Mr. Speaker, I will respect that.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Speaker, I will respect that.
Yes,
Thank you.
Majority Leader.